Welcome, everybody, and welcome to Miss Megan. Thank you so much for hosting this, helping host this for us.
Yes.
We are going to be optimizing our profiles. Last week we talked about how to get your trade account. Jason was on with us and talked about, the trade program in general and just getting up, the basics of getting on there and getting the trade application. So I hope everybody did that. And today Megan's going to take a little bit of a deeper dive and she's going to talk about how to actually optimize your profile. And they have eDesign coming, down the road a little bit here, and they are going to be sending consumers to us, consumer leads. So you really, really do want to go in. I think this is a perfect time to go in and optimize.
Fluff it up before all the people
Fluff it up, make it pretty.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to start, Megan.
Okay, so I'm going to screen share for most of this while I'm talking, just to show everyone. So let me make sure my, see. All right, can everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay, so I just created a Jane Doe profile to kind of go through and show you how to optimize. So when you sign into your account, it's going to look, let me just move my screen, sorry. It's going to look like this. And so you'll have all of the information that you entered when you applied. And one of the biggest things is you can link your profile or your website here. So I'm just going to the Design Network. So you can just copy and then paste, and then you'll just click Save Changes so that whenever you put your TDN profile as public, a little toggle will come up that says website where a consumer can go and look at that. It's a little slow, so it's saving. If you continue to scroll down, there is a spot where you can put bio information. It's not going to let me type it while it's trying to save. Sorry, guys. There we go. So you can put bio information, and this is super important because a lot of times when you go onto profiles and there's nothing there, it's really hard for a consumer to want to click on you, if you're not active. So, I'm just going to type something random, but you could put a lot of effort into making this really great and really about you. So
And this is one of those things too, that if people have an about page on their website, they've probably already filled out their bio information.
Right.
They might be able to just copy most of that over.
Yes, exactly. And you can just copy and paste that right in, and it'll tell you how many characters right there, so you're aware. And then you can click what you're available for. So if you do all the things, you can check them all off, and it'll only show what you've checked. So it's not going to come up blank for construction if you don't do construction. And then you can click your memberships and certifications, which currently it says certifications. It's going to soon change to memberships and certifications, just so that that's clear. So you can click whatever you have. You're going to click Save Changes. And none of this is going to show up until you make your profile public. So I'll show you how to do that once we enter all this in. And then here's your social media links, which we all know how important social media is for marketing yourself. So you can just put all of your handles in here. I'm going to put the Trade Direct page just so we have something in there so I can show you what it looks like once your profile is public, and I'm going to save changes there. And then I already uploaded a profile image and a cover photo just to make sure everything was working before we did this. But if you want to change it, you would just click and you can find whatever picture, whatever you saved. And you're also able to, So I'll choose that. And just to show you, you can zoom all the way in, you can zoom out. So however your picture is kind of formatted, you can drag it to center it so you can make it nice and perfect. And then same thing with your cover photo. It's same concept where you can zoom in and out. I just did one of the 3D room styler renderings that I did. So then I'm going to click Save Changes. And I'm going to scroll all the way back up, and you can preview right here your profile so that you can kind of see what it's going to look like. And as you can see, it popped up with my Facebook. Here's the website that would go directly to the Design Network since that's what I entered. There's your About Me. And I'm going to go ahead and click off of that. All right, so once you've got all of that situated, you have all these buttons, the product boards, portfolio, videos, and renderings. So I'm just going to show you how you can kind of create boards. I created one earlier just for this video or for this webinar, but I'm going to show you. So if you want a new board, you're going to click New Board, and then it's going to ask you for a title and description. So let's do side tables. And then you could put a detailed description there, and that way you would have it, but just for the sake of this, we're just going to be random. And then if I want to search for side tables, I can do it this way. Or if there is a specific brand that I'm really interested in, or I have a client that's very interested in a specific brand, I can do that, and it's going to come up with 4 hands. And then you can also select a category. So I'm just going to show you. It'll continue to click, and if you're like, oh, you know what, I don't want that, you just click it again, it'll go away. And you can just add as many as you would like. You can be very particular. And then you're going to add the products. And then this is what your board is going to look like. So let me just click. You will notice that you can share it. So you can share it to Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest, where it's your affiliate link. So it's in your board as long as it's public. If you share it, someone clicks on it, they buy that product, you're going to get a commission for that. And there's also this little heart. You can like that. And then when you, let me just go back. When you like it, you see these little toggles that come up here. That's from people liking it and favoriting it. So that just gives you another opportunity to kind of show. And it'll also show in your profile. So I'll show you, not in your public profile, but on your account. So I'll show you that. And it's also got an add to project button, which we're going to do a later webinar kind of going over a more in-depth look at projects, because that's all new. So I will tackle that next time. All right, so that's how you create your product board. And notice it says active or inactive. So if you change it to inactive, that means it's not going to show up, that particular product. Or you can go back to active. And again, you can make this board public, private, or inactive. And if it's private, it's something that only you can see, as well as if it's inactive, and only people that are following the link will be able to access it. So you can make a specific board for a specific client, even if you don't want it on your profile. So, and then the share button is going to give you, if you click the little links, it's going to give you a link that you can copy and send to a client. And then if it's inactive, maybe you're still working on it, you just don't want it to show up. That means it's not going to show up until you go back in and you click public.
Real quick question. And I think I already know the answer to this, but if you share from the link, that link, if somebody clicks on a product from there and purchases it, that is an affiliate link.
Yes.
For you.
If you share that and they click on your link, they click on that product and they add it to their cart, it's a commission for you. If they, it would be different if they went in and searched for a specific product, you know, because if 50 designers have the same product on a board, it's a little different. But if you have that specific link for them to follow, it will take them there.
And then we have a question. Is it better to create boards based on product or to do a whole room board, or does it matter? And I think the answer is you can do both.
Yeah, they work the same way. Whatever is more fun, whatever is easier, whatever you have time for. The product boards are pretty, like if you just have a broad, idea, like side tables that you just want to push out. I know I saw another designer that she did a quiz, like a sofa style quiz, and she had her link, so they went to her board. So she had specific sofas on there. So yeah, whichever. All right, so that's how the product board works. Now, if you go to portfolio, this is where you can add projects that you have already created, or you can create a new project. And I'm just going to show you really quick. So this is a little bit different than up here. If you can see where my mouse is, where it says My Projects, that's what we're going to cover in the next webinar. I'm going to go ahead and go over this one because it will show up on your profile. So we're just going to create a project, and you have to give a description. So okay, so once you create this, it's automatically active. And again, you can do the same thing. You can make it inactive if you don't want it to show up, or you're still adding and you're not done yet. And if you decide, you know what, I really want to change the name of this, you can go to edit, and you can always do that. So I am going to add some media to show you what this kind of looks like. So let's see. All right, so there are some, now these are the room stylers that I did, but they can be live photos. They don't have to be the 3D images that you can get on the Design Network. And notice that it has cover photo. So the first photo that you click on to upload is automatically going to default to cover photo. But if you want to say, you know what, this one looks better, you can do that. You can also move them around if you want them in a different order. So that's how you do that. And then when you click on this photo, you get all of this on the side here, and you can add a title, so, and a description. And you can click Save Changes, and then you can select a category, and it tags it for you. And then you can also select a style, and you can do more than one if you feel like yours is all sorts of everything. And then you can add your own tags here. So if you just want to add like lighting as a tag, you can do that. And then again, you're going to see this Add to Project button, which again, we will cover in the next webinar. So let's say you are on your project here and you want to tag some of these items. You can add a product, and you can search, or when you were creating your project, if you had certain products that you used and you know what they are, you can search by brand, category, or the specific product. So I'm just going to type in nightstand, and we'll just click on this one, and you can see that it says similar product there. So if it's not the specific product, but you're trying to add it because it looks similar, you just check that little box, add the product, and now it's tagged. So again, if someone goes to your project on your profile and says, oh, I really love that, and they click on it and they purchase, then you will get a commission. And notice that it has the orange pricing here, which is your designer price, but the consumer wouldn't see that. And you can add as many products as you would like. You can continue to keep adding. and that's going to automatically save that. And then same thing for all of these if you want to add different tags, and you could do bedroom, kids room, nursery, and it adds all 3 of those tags. So it's really great to get visible on TDN's site. And so you can do that for all of those, and it's active. So really quick, well, I'll show you videos first, and then I'll show you what the profile looks like. So if you click on videos, I uploaded a video earlier. You can just, it's the same way as you did with your pictures. And if your video, you have specific products in it, you can do the exact same process that we just did. Okay, so I'm going to go back to profile, and I'm going to preview the profile so you can see what it looks like with the, so there's the picture we uploaded, the background, you've got your website linked. Here's the overview. It's got the portfolio, the boards, and the video. And if you click on this from the website, it'll take you here. And as you can see, the little orange toggle in the top right corner on the pictures, that shows how many products are tagged in that specific picture. And you can go, a consumer would be able to go to videos, and it's there. It's just not, and they'll be able to click on it and see. Let me show you from a consumer's perspective what it looks like when they click on a project. So they can explore the project, and again, there's the featured products. And if I had added more, they would all pop up there. And then there's the tags right there.
So I just want to clarify for anybody watching right now, you can actually just put your regular products on there. You don't have to actually tag the exact, I mean, if you put your project up there and let's say you have a linen headboard, you can go ahead and just tag a similar linen headboard or tufted, whatever it was, and you have the opportunity to maybe get affiliate sales from that. So that's what's really cool about that.
Right. And too, if you have projects that you created long before you even knew about TDN, you can still upload those and do exactly what you were just saying. So yep. It's a really great perk.
It's really, yeah, it's really cool.
And real quick, we have a question from Peg. She asked if there's a trick to uploading the videos because she hasn't been able to do it from Dropbox. Do the videos have to be on your computer to upload them?
Yes. So I had that video on Dropbox as well, and I had to save it to my computer and then upload it. Okay, and so really quick, I just wanted to show you, so we previewed the profile, but notice right here it says toggle to make your profile visible to the public. It has to be showing a check mark in order for it to be visible. So all that work you put in, you just got to make sure you make it visible.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I thought I was done, and Jason said, Dixie, I'd love to see you make your profile go public. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So that's an important step.
Yeah, and it's right there up at the top. So
we keep pushing to change the color of that toggle button, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I think we may try to make it to where it automatically defaults.
Oh yeah, or
that way you don't have to
see it. It just blends in a lot.
Right.
That's the one thing. But yeah, there's the toggle. Remember the toggle.
The toggle right there. Make sure it's a check, because if it's a minus, it's not visible. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll click Save Changes and see it stayed. So it's there. And then I'll show you what it looks like to search for a designer. So really quick too, the more active you are, so a lot of us already know that we do the featured designers up at the top, and the more active you are, the more you'll pop up on the first page. So because I just uploaded everything and I'm being super active right now, there's Jane Doe right there. And so you can see that these designers have all been active. And so that's what it looks like. And when they click on you, there it is. And I also am going to show you renderings very quickly. The 3D room planner that we have. Okay, so if you have not created anything, there's not going to be anything there, and you just click there. And then it's going to take you to projects, which this is what we're going to cover in the next webinar, but just really quickly, I'm going to show you what the 3D room plans looks like. I'm going to launch the planner. Okay, so this is your landing page when you launch the planner, and you can either start from scratch or you can start with a furnished room. So there's some sample rooms if you just want to play around with it. If you have any saved rooms, which I don't, so there's nothing there, you can open it, or you can watch some video tutorials, and I really highly suggest those. Like there was some stuff I watched them, and like adding windows and trying to put in more natural light makes your picture when you take it much better, and it looks more real.
And we also have a webinar on using the room styler.
Yes.
In the Design & Style Club.
Yes, I think Albie did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that really quick, and then you can also create over here. You can create your login. You can register to create a login for the room styler specifically. So I won't go into too much detail since there's already a video about that, and we can link that. I'm sure Dixie can link that, get on top of that for everybody.
Yes, yes. I do have a question about that right now. Vicki said that she's had problems using Room Styler in Safari. She had to open another web browser to be able to manipulate. Do we have any suggestions, any input?
Yeah, so that is actually, it's common right now. I too use Safari and noticed that I was having issues. I did speak with the developers of the 3D room planner, and they said to make sure that your computer doesn't have any updates, that it doesn't need any updates, so you're completely up to date. And to make sure that your cache is not cluttered. So clean that out.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
Yeah. And I have a link to show you how to do that. So I can send that out to anybody that needs it, that shows you how to clear your cache if you don't know how to. Oh, really quick. So in the last webinar, I showed everyone how to add commission, your deposit information and your W-9 for commission. Make sure that that is added. Otherwise, your affiliate link isn't going to work because we have nothing to send the money to. So just make sure, again, it's really simple. You click on commissions, you add your deposit information, you add your documents, and you're done. And that is about it on optimizing. Let me look at my notes just to make sure I covered everything. Oh, I was also going to show everyone the badges that you can get, that you can add to your website, or you can add to any other platform that you have. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says designers, it says designer badges. If you click there, these are the badges that we have. And also if you've been featured on TDN, you can get your little featured button. And so you can get big ones, small ones. We have a range, and you just
I love how they
that.
personalize those ones at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Those are amazing.
Yeah. So they worked hard on those. So just make sure you take advantage of them.
Love them up.
Yeah. And then I have the little preview for the new eDesign platform, but did we want to tackle those questions really quick before
Yes, let's do that real quick. So just a note for you, Jessica said that Chrome also has issues for her.
Okay.
Internet Explorer right now is the only one that she can get the room styler to work in.
Okay.
And I would say also we should remind everybody that the TDN Trade has a Facebook group.
Yes.
And
Yes.
utilize that specifically for some of these TDN things so they can get on it really quickly. We see sometimes people making comments in other groups, not only Design+Style, of course, we're kind of their brand ambassadors, which is fine, but we're starting to see it in other groups around the interwebs. So we encourage them to create a group just for TDN trade where you guys can, if you're having issues with anything, software or anything else, you have TDN employees, right there to answer. So you're not, we're not playing telephone, right? So
Right.
we will
And
definitely encourage you to join that group.
yeah, and I was going to say, guys, it's linked to my phone, so as soon as you post it, it pops up, so I can get right on answering that for you guys.
Okay, so Hope asked about the boards. How do you make sure the client buys from there and not going to the vendor directly?
So let's go to the boards. Let me show you guys. Okay, so if they're on your board, and they click on the product and they add it to their cart, so this is their pricing that they're going to see. If it's purple, it's the consumer pricing. If it's orange, it's the designer pricing. I just want to make that super clear because it just makes it easier for you as a designer to know which is which. And so we're affiliated with Furnishland South, which you guys know from previous videos and information that you've been given. And our prices are, for consumers too, are pretty low. So going directly to the manufacturer, which I don't know if, well, I guess consumers can go directly to a manufacturer, but the price isn't going to be as good as ours usually because we buy in such high quantities that we get a really low price.
Okay, now we have a couple of questions about House.
Okay.
So the first one is, what happens with House and them owning all the content you now load or link to them? And in this case, you're not linking it to House. All you're doing is providing a link to go visit your House profile. You're not sharing that link on House, so House doesn't own that, correct?
And
correct.
Also, we talked about the licensing of photos and all that stuff in the webinar one with Jason. So if you have any questions about that, I would go to webinar one. That is exactly why we're doing these webinars, because we keep getting asked the same questions. So go back to that if you have any questions of how the Design Network licenses your photos. They have to license it for you to upload any of your projects or anything. So of course. So just to get more detailed, right from the horse's mouth, Jason Harris, the founder of the Design Network, is answering it there.
Yeah.
And then we had one more question about it, which is, and it's more about the badges than it is House. There are a lot of designers who are upset about the House badges because when people click on the badge on their website, it takes them to places where House is now throwing all kinds of product and other designers' information at them. So what happens when somebody clicks on the badge on your website? Where does it take them?
It takes them to your profile. So it takes them directly to you. So if you've got that badge and they click on it, it's going to go to you.
Yeah, which is why you see that those badges personalize with your photo and everything. That is just straight to your board.
Right. So especially these ones right here.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. The next question is about the single item description page. There used to be an add to board link.
Yes. And actually, it's funny that was brought up. We're working on getting that to where it's easier to, when you're just searching products, instead of having to go specifically into the board, specifically typing it in, where you can just go browse. So I know exactly what that designer is talking about, because it used to be like that before we had the projects. And then when we added the projects, that button was switched to add a project, which we're working on it.
And just in case anybody has a question, this is the second webinar. The first webinar has already been uploaded it was really just what is TDN, and how to sign up. So it was really basic. You can go over to the Design Network's designer Facebook group or the Design+Style Club, and that webinar has been uploaded into each of those groups on Facebook.
Yep. Okay, so I just have some pictures I'm going to show you guys. It's not like to where I can scroll, but I have some pictures of what the new homepage is going to look like.
And just for everybody on the call that is familiar with Dixie and I, this is what we have been working on the Design Network with, is the launch of their eDesign platform. So we're super proud. We're super excited to see.
All right. So can you see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is a photo of the eDesign homepage that you're going to see. And it's going to be similar to how it's set up now, where you have your shop and then a featured board, new arrivals. There's going to be where the consumer can take the style quiz, design tools. So I'm just going to slowly scroll through. The Find a Designer, the featured designer is going to be a little bit different. So right now we currently have the 4 featured designers. Now it's going to be 5, and one of those is going to be big. So as you can see, right here, this is the big featured designer, and these buttons don't work because this is a photo, but you'll be able to click these for their projects that they have, and you can scroll through there. You can look at their eDesign packages, and you can view their profile, and then here are the other designers that are going to pop up that are featured. So again, making sure that you're keeping your profile up to date and all of that. And I know a lot of the designers signed up for that are in the Design Network, signed up for the beta group, and thank all of you who did that. We had such an outpour. So you'll be able to set up your packages first, and you'll be among the first ones on the site. So that's going to be really great. And then there's going to be mood boards that you're going to be able to see. And again, in our next webinar, I'm going to go over mood boards and projects and everything like that. And then, so that's kind of what that's going to look like. And then all the watch, the TDN. And let me click on, let me see if I have, I know you guys can't see that because I'm not sharing it, but okay, I'm going to share the new designer profiles and what they're going to look like. So let me...
While you're doing that, what is it that people do to get featured? Just have an amazing profile?
So basically what we look for is that you're active on the site, you're constantly uploading projects, you're creating boards, you're super active, and we look for completed projects a lot too, because when we feature you, we also feature your project. And with eDesign coming, if you are an eDesigner, it's going to be a really great opportunity for you to feature your eDesign projects.
And this is great visibility because they have a huge platform. You guys, between all of your social media followings, I think it's an amazing opportunity. Go in and utilize the tool. Also, Jason loves to watch when people upload videos. So definitely, he's always looking for, new content, new ideas, because I don't know if any of you have watched, they definitely have the watch. They have all these great series of designers, shows, like those really fun shows that we used to love back in the day. So he's always on the lookout for content creators. So I would definitely encourage you to upload.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so can you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay, so this is what the new designer profile is going to look like. So we just saw the other one that we created. So this one's, to me, is so much more beautiful, and I love it. I think it's so great. So your little toggle is going to be here, or your profile picture, and then your about, and you're still going to be able to list project types, but you'll also be able to list specialty styles, your certifications and memberships. Here's where all of your social media and contact information is going to come up. You're going to be able to upload like videos, which I know you can already do, but it's the way it's laid out is
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to do that. Featured work, and they're going to be able to scroll through that way. And then your product boards, and see how they're so much bigger. I just think it's so great because they're bigger, they're bolder, they stand out more to consumers. So
I love it. So so appealing.
Yeah. And so that is what your profile will look like.
I love it.
Oh, and here's, if you're going to do the e-design, it's going to be here where they can view packages. It'll have when you're available to start. And this is just
these are not $59 packages, you guys.
Right.
FYI.
This was just some numbers we keyed in.
Dummy copy.
So anyway, it's really beautiful. It's bright. It attracts your eye if you're a consumer. I mean, I think it's great, and I think it's gonna be awesome.
Oh, it's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. And it's for designers, and help. Designers helped design it, so it's really going to be super beneficial. And Dixie and I have been pushing for for it to be. You guys have done a beautiful job, but we've always included all of the things that we know designers are looking for. So I think it's such a great collaborative effort.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to
get
some projects, get my packages set up, and start rolling with it.
And it looks like Chandra said she is very excited about the eDesign platform. Thanks, TDN.
Yay!
Yeah. So it's going to end our test group. I've sent out emails to everyone, and we're really excited about that. And I think it's another great opportunity for, designers to collaborate and say, hey, maybe this should work this way, or this, so we're really trying to make it as amazing for you designers as possible. And so I think that's what makes it really great.
So get in and try to break it.
Yeah.
That's what Dixie and I are like, when do I get to go try to break it?
And one of the things too that we'll be doing is a webinar about using. So after everybody's had a chance to get in and break it, we'll have a webinar on how to use the eDesign platform.
All right. And again, if there are any questions, maybe if anybody's watching later this webinar and they have questions, they can jump on our Facebook group, and ask there, if it's specific to TDN, so that they're so you can get. And sometimes when people post on the TDN page, other designers jump in and say, actually, blah blah, this is how it works. So it's very collaborative.
Yeah, and also in our group too, a lot of people have used it. So we have either group is fine, but definitely hop in. Definitely, if you're going to be a TDN designer, hop in their Facebook group.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for showing up and asking all the questions. And
yes,
this is great for us too, to get the feedback of what your questions are.
Right.
So nothing too. You're welcome.
Yes.
Nothing too crazy today.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys, and thank you all the designers that joined, all of you that are watching this later. Thank you, and we're excited, and thanks for showing your interest.